So this has me interested, folks. Welcome back to Orange Chat Reviews. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So director Chad Stahelski, mostly known for the John Wick movies, and doing a brilliant job at them, mind you, reveals his vision for the Highlander film starring Henry Cavill. This is coming from Bounding into Comics, John F. Trent. Shout out to you guys. So, director Chad Stahelski, known for his work on John Wick, recently provided an update on his Highlander film starring Henry Cavill, where he revealed he's not only looking to do a prequel, but hopes to turn it into a franchise. So, a prequel. This is, okay. Let's read on. Stahelski has been involved in a Highlander film going back as far as 2016, with the director telling The Hollywood Reporter at the time, "I've been a huge fan of the original property since I saw it in high school. Such great themes of immortality, love, and identity are all wrapped up in such colorful mythology. I can't think of a better property that gives the opportunity to create interesting characters, mythic themes, and action set pieces." When I was watching Highlander the series last year, rewatching it, get myself reacquainted with it, honestly, I thought that a small bit of information that was really just a throwaway line but became well known was that two immortals fought on holy ground near Mount Vesuvius at Pompeii, and it caused the volcano to explode and Pompeii to be wiped out. I think that would also be something interesting to put in a movie. Yeah, especially a Highlander movie, so it has the right context. Anyway, he's given sporadic updates on the film since. In 2017, he told Collider, "If you go back and watch the original Highlander, whether the quality holds up or not, or the filmmaking process holds up, there are things about that movie beneath just the shots and the lighting. There's a mythology there. For some reason, it hooks us. Yes, the Highlander movie is indeed a very great story, and it was always meant to be a one-off. It was never meant to spawn all those animated shows and television shows. It was only ever supposed, or the sequels, it was always just supposed to be a one-off. So we love that world. Everybody loves the immortal realm. Everybody loves the code. There can be only one." I've seen people with freaking tattoos saying there can be only one. I've seen people with the Watcher tattoos. I mean, that's how much of a Highlander cult following this is. I have friends who have the swords. I actually have Connor McLeod's, or rather, probably a cheap knockoff, to Connor McLeod's sword that Ramirez gives him, or that he inherits from Ramirez after Ramirez dies, to be more specific. So yeah, this movie has gripped a lot of people. There's something about it that hooks you, hooks me, hooks all the fanboys about it. I went so far as I know every episode of all 6 seasons, plus the 7th season if you count Raven as a series, plus the novels. There's something about the world that's hooking. I mean, I love that sword. That's Duncan MacLeod's sword there. Apparently, there was a novel. Anyway, he also told them where they were on the script. "We are currently doing a bit of work on the overall plot structure. When I came on board, we were trying to reinvent the single Highlander property. We've gone since back in, and we would like to really expand the world. So we consider the same shortcomings don't happen again and what happened on the original project, meaning you have one great movie and 4 questionable follow-ups." Yeah, so he's going to basically try to make it so you have movies that tie in better and are far more consistent, because as much as I love the Highlander movies, the only 2 movies that I really consider have any connection are Highlander, the original, and the 3rd Highlander movie, which was known as The Final Dimension, with Mario Van Peebles as the bad guy. We want to develop a property that can give us, and again, it's not about marketing. It's not so much about the financials. It's about how we can make a more mythological chapter 1, chapter 2. What's a great way to tell this story, he said. He went on to reveal he was taking inspiration from the Highlander TV series and Star Wars. He explained, I think the TV series hit a lot of great stuff, or hit on a lot of great stuff that wasn't in the feature. Between the Watchers and all the different types of Immortals, how do we get this into a feature mode before we dribble it into the TV world? Well, let's structure it in parts. Let's look at it like it was a TV show. Let's look at it like it was a high-end trilogy. How do we tell the story of the Gathering and the Quickenings, the Immortals? And how do we really build this world out even more than just the original project? This dude has a vision, man. And I'm hoping his vision can come out perfectly, because that would be great. That's what we're restructuring right now. It's taking all the good stuff that we had before I was involved in a project from the script, redeveloping the script to give us really good chapters 1, 2, and 3, and expanding the world. So he's planning on a trilogy, apparently. I mean, this is going to be interesting stuff, folks. I'm really looking forward to this. And if Henry Cavill's involved, I'll definitely give it a watch. I actually like Henry Cavill and his acting. I think he has a very emotional way of acting, which is very good. As for Star Wars, he said, the vision we're trying to get across and what we're trying to develop, I equate very close to Star Wars. The first one is a very satisfying ending, but it does leave the door open, and that's kind of how I see this. I would really like to expand it over 3. I see the Gathering happening over 3. So he is planning a trilogy. It's tricky, don't get me wrong. That's why we're still developing it, he noted. We want to be able to tell 3 complete stories that all kind of fit. Kind of fit? You're going to need them to really fit if you want to correct the mistakes of the past. I think the Star Wars trilogy, at least up to The Empire Strikes Back, is a good example of how we want to process it. Stahelski also discussed how he wanted to design the film, specifically around the swordplay. If heads coming off or coming apart is an R, great. If heads coming apart is a PG, great. Ratings are second to what we're going to do. Highlander, I think the action is, at least what's in my head, is going to fall on a line, for sure. So he's not really focusing on what rating they're going to get, which is great because, in my opinion, Highlander needs to be rated R. This is not something that kids should be watching, because you're watching people lop each other's heads off for power. That is essentially the meat of it. So that is not something you want to see kids watching. So this is definitely should be geared for adults. He elaborated, we want to design it, or we want to design it what we think is aesthetically cool. And so far, I've met no resistance. They're like, look, whatever you did with John Wick with gun stuff, we want you to do. We want you to try and do with the sword stuff. We want you to make something cool and something unique, and something that's going to make audiences say, wow, I haven't seen that before. In 2021, Cavill boarded the film, sharing to his Instagram, very exciting news today. I've been a fan of Highlander since I was a lad. From the movies in all of their 80s Queen slathered glory to the TV show with an actor who looked remarkably like one of my brothers. Nice! Being not shy with swords and having a director as talented as Chad Stahelski at the helm, this is an opportunity like no other. Deep diving into franchise storytelling with all the tools at our disposal. It's going to make this an adventure I, and hopefully all of you, shall never forget. Nice! That's humility, folks. That's somebody that's not looking for the glory or the fame. That's a passionate person who is wanting to do this for fans. How can you not think that Henry Cavill is anything but humble? Or how can you think that Henry Cavill is anything but humble? Sorry, screwed that up. Following the announcement, Cavill shared some details about Stahelski's vision for the film with The Hollywood Reporter, James Hibbard, who reported, Cavill says Stahelski's vision is more grounded in reality than the original movies and show, and will play a bit more like the modern tragedy, or a modern tragedy. While the director says there were several reasons there could be only one actor for the role. Stahelski explained that he wanted Cavill. Henry obviously has the physicality, but that doesn't mean a whole lot if you can't also carry the empathy of a character that's lived for 500 years. And I needed somebody who could do both. And that's the fun thing. Henry Cavill does have range. I would love to see, or I plan on seeing that movie Immortals to see how he did in that. He added, the character's arc spans hundreds of years and he's become very different personalities, all of which extend the timeline of his emotional growth. Then during our first meeting, my suspicions were confirmed. Henry was immediately riffing on the idea of a burden of immortality, and you can see in his eyes that he can transform himself from being a young, vibrant soul to an old, wise soul. He had this combination I was fascinated by. The other thing you could see was his genuineness. He really loves the property and loves what he believes he can do with it. And when an actor has that level of passion, you're going to get something unique. And finally, you've met him, after 10 minutes, you're just like, he's cool, I want to hang out with this guy. That actually does kind of sound like a lot of what other people say about Henry Cavill. I mean, I'm looking forward to this movie. Now Stahelski has provided a new update on the film in an interview with Josh Horowitz. He confirmed Cavill is still attached to the film and that they have made significant progress on the scripts in pre-production. He said, I think we have some very good elements of power. The trick is when you have the tagline, there can be only one, you just can't have everybody in the first movie. So yes, they're definitely, I agree, you have to spread it out a little bit more. We're looking to do our story engages a lot of the same characters and stuff like that, but we've also brought in elements of all the TV shows, and we're trying to do a bit of a prequel, a setup for The Gathering, so we have room to grow the property. If we get our shit together and we pull off the feature, we have ideas for days about how to make the coolest characters and to make an epic TV show. I just think that's a rich, rich material. When you can pick any period in time, any nationality, any culture, and any type of person, and make them an immortal that have to deal with the burden of immortality, that's fucking cool to me, he concluded. I'm not gonna skimp on the swears, folks, because that shows just how passionate these guys are. And I love this shot of Kurgan Man. That prosthetic makeup around his neck really shows, but oh my god, it was really done well back in the day. If you are unfamiliar with The Gathering, it is described by Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez in the original Highlander film as an irresistible pull towards a faraway land to fight for the prize. The prize, which was obtained by Connor MacLeod, granted him the ability to know what mortals are thinking, all the abilities obtained from other immortals through the quickening, and to become mortal and have children. Basically, omniscience with the cost of your immortality. You are essentially omniscient, and yet you are able to now be a mortal and have children, so you basically have to pass on your knowledge so that it doesn't fade. What do you make of this update on Stahelski about the Highlander film starring Henry Cavill? I am so freaking excited, folks. Honestly, I am looking forward to this because this is something that I would love to see happen. I mean, sure, you can even put freaking Henry Cavill, maybe even put Keanu Reeves, because that way you got real stakes of people who love Cavill and love Keanu Reeves. Get them both in on this, because I guarantee you that would be a box office draw. You would have everything you need to basically make a really good Highlander story. Plus, you got a person who has a very powerful vision for what he wants in this film trilogy that they're planning. Oh my god, I am so freaking hyped. I can't wait to discuss more of this. Anyway, folks, that is going to be the video. You all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think? Are you excited for this? Are you excited for Henry Cavill coming into this project? If you are new to my channel, check out all my links down below in the description of this video. They have all the links to my socials where you could follow me there. Leave a like and all that stuff, folks. This has been Orange Hat Reviews. Have a wonderful day, and always remember, stay humble.